And welcome to Liquid Lunch. It's me, Hugh. It's Sandra.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Happy May 21st?
Yes, happy May 21st.
Did you have a great long weekend?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you see that thunder and lightning we had last night?
I rode my bike through it.
Oh. And what was that like?
It was great. It was like a summer rainstorm, you know? I mean, it was like warm rain.
It was actually really nice, eh?
That
is the best weather to jog in.
Is it?
Yeah, because you sweat, but you get cool right away.
See, I stopped jogging a long time ago. It's bad for your knees.
So is biking.
No.
Biking?
Only if you bike wrong.
Oh, okay.
You see, if you start at a high gear, then it's bad for your knees. But if you gear properly...
Okay.
That's why these guys on these one-speed bikes... It's not a good idea.
How about those people who are on those bikes that are like those old-fashioned bikes with the little baskets in the front? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I was thinking about getting a basket in the front just the other day, but I decided against it because it looks so nerdy.
You know what? I just think it looks so country-ish. I love it. I think it looks so good.
Yeah, you look like the... I saw somebody like that the other day and I thought, she looks just like the Wicked Witch of the West.
I was thinking Little House on the Prairie.
Dun, 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 dun. Right?
No, I don't think little. I mean, I don't
I'll
think
get you and your little dog too. Speaking of little dogs, we got a little dog in the studio.
Well,
here.
I don't think he's little. I think he's big. It's a beautiful black lab.
Yeah.
But well, so you had a good weekend?
I did have a good weekend. Did you?
Awesome. I had a good weekend for the most part, except on Friday, my cat died.
What?
Yeah, my cat died.
That's
she had
very
a heart attack.
sad.
I know. She had a heart attack right in front of me.
That's sad.
It is. It is. I tried to do what I could, but I couldn't do anything.
How old was your cat?
16 and a half.
Oh, that's pretty old.
Yeah, but just right in front of me. Just right in front of me.
I've never seen that.
I never want to feel that again.
And that's horrible.
Yeah, it actually was. It actually was.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. She's in a better place.
Of course.
But she's a black cat, very much like the dog we have here, except a lot smaller.
Plus, we have a black cat up in the other office.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And they're good luck, by the way. Black cats are good luck.
Okay, now I have something. I'm really concerned about this Rob Ford smoking crack bit.
Here we go again.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Now, wait a sec. I have some video here. This is video number 1. We have to follow this story. This I almost said Rob Crack. Rob Ford's story, smoking crack.
Isn't that his middle name? I thought that was his middle name.
That's his nickname.
But that's because he used to be a plumber. No. In the hood?
We got to look at this video of Rob.
Okay, you and I saw him giving out candies at the parade, okay?
Now I'm wondering, were they really candies?
Yes, I'm thinking the same thing. Were they spiked?
Were they really Easter eggs, or were they bags of crack?
Or they were Easter eggs covered. Like maybe they were like those magic brownie things.
I don't know what you're talking about. But do we have that video, guys? This is number 1, and we got to cover. Because this is a big story. We got to follow it. Here's Rob Ford.
Toronto's going to become so famous because of him.
Well, we're almost as famous as Washington D.C. and Marion Barry. Okay,
oh yes, that's true.
I'm Kevin Donovan. I'm a senior reporter at the Toronto Star and the Toronto Star's investigative editor. Working with my colleague Robin Doolittle over the last 2 months, I've been investigating Mayor Rob Ford and allegations that the mayor has a substance abuse problem of some kind. That led us to a very unusual meeting in the backseat of a car in a parking lot at a Dixon Road apartment building in northern Etobicoke. We were shown a shocking video. The video, which appears to be real, shows Mayor Rob Ford in a room, his shirt open, lolling back in his chair, and appears to be smoking a crack pipe.
The man in the video, who we believe is Mayor Rob Ford, appears stumbling, He seems incoherent. He rambles. At one point, he appears to call Liberal leader Justin Trudeau a fag.
Mayor Ford ends this segment on camera, which lasts only 90 seconds, by being startled when he hears a telephone ring. He looks directly into the camera and says, "That thing better not be recording." After watching the video 3 times, Robin Doolittle and I made our own separate notes of the event and what we saw on the screen. For thestar.com, I'm Kevin Donovan.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that can't be true. Come on.
well, I'm just concerned that he called Justin Trudeau a
I'm
fag. Can you imagine? That's so juvenile.
He's just jealous because of his hair. Because Justin has good hair.
Not as good as Stephen Harper's hair, which
No.
never moves.
Did you see? I saw Stephen Harper actually in the storm yesterday. His hair didn't move.
It doesn't
His
move.
coat did, but his hair didn't move.
Actually, his hair is not really hair. It is actually a mind control helmet that the New World Order insists that he wears.
That makes sense to me. That's a pretty bad fitting helmet. Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we have another video of. First of all, I got to comment on that. That is
Of course you do.
ridiculous. So so 2 reporters from the Toronto Star. So I'm not a big Rob Ford fan, right? But 2 reporters from the Toronto Star see some video in the back of a vehicle, an unusual
Are
meeting.
these legitimate
What were they doing?
reporters?
What were they up there buying crack themselves?
Well, and okay.
I had a dream. I had a dream that the Toronto Star, that everyone at the Toronto Star smokes crack. That should be a news story.
You actually had that dream? Okay, so why don't you go out there on YouTube and put that up there? Do we actually see this video? Can we actually see?
Not yet.
Okay.
So what's happened is I think Gawker or somebody's got the video, and what they're trying to do is do a crowdsourcing to buy the video, which is, they're saying it's going to cost $200,000 to buy the video.
So now they're trying to make money?
And get it released. Well, somebody's going to make some money.
Okay, so how do you know that maybe Rob Ford didn't plant that so that he could sell the video and make money?
Yeah, that's right. That's probably a good idea. Because why not sacrifice your political career, which is already toast, and at least put $200,000 in your pocket?
You know what? Yeah, exactly, to distract. But all he has to do, okay, if that were me, and if that were really not true, I would come out and say, okay, I did not say that about Justin Trudeau. I would come out and look and take those comments and say, okay, for the record, they said I said this. I am saying I did not say this, and prove it.
Well, here's what...
If he can't say that, then you do have to wonder if there's something to it, right?
I'll tell you, I think this video is going to come out
Okay.
one of these days. And it's going to be, it's either going to show Rob Ford smoking crack or not.
But can you actually make, especially someone in the Toronto Star, people who are in this industry, can you actually just throw out these kinds of allegations with nothing to back that up?
Well, that's a whole other thing. You know,
I mean, what if I went out, Hugh,
Exactly.
and said, Hugh's a crackpot?
Where I had a dream that the Toronto Star, everybody at the Toronto Star smokes crack.
But you're
It's
not
a dream.
saying. But you're not saying anybody. But
It
you're
had
not,
to be based on something.
Yes, but you're not specifically pointing out names and defamation of character,
Everyone,
right?
Everyone.
Okay. Well, yeah. And I don't know. I mean, can you actually do that?
I'll tell you. I just think it's pretty. I know the Toronto Star hates Rob Ford, but to me, it says something about the state of journalism in this country. Right? I almost bought a Toronto Star the other day because of the headline. They almost got 50 cents off of me.
And you didn't, though, or did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so what made you decide not to? Why didn't you? Because you didn't want to.
I didn't have 50 cents in my pocket. Plus, I didn't want to waste a tree. Plus, I didn't really care that much.
Okay, so let me ask you: did you go home and go online and read it online?
Well, I got it ready for today's show.
Yeah,
it's
so
big
there.
news.
So
Okay,
you've
Rob
just
Ford.
found an alternative.
Rob Ford.
Wow.
Anyway, all I'm saying is it's a sad state of affairs for everybody. For the mayor, for the city, for the Toronto Star, for the state of political dialogue.
You know what?
In this
I have to
country.
say, this New World Order might be not looking so bad after this. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
But seriously.
You know, we can't be responsible. We need reptilian shapeshifter alien hybrids telling us what to do.
Because clearly we can't handle our own affairs.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Okay. you want to get busy with the show?
Yes, yes. I don't even think we've asked for Michael's input at all. We should ask Michael, what do you think?
Well, we've got...
On the spot.
Well, where I come from, which is Montreal in Quebec, we just did a whole lot of house cleaning.
Politics,
I think we lost about 3 or 4 mayors in various boroughs, and Montreal mayor and the mayor of Laval. It's the whole house cleaning corruption thing. So I'm just wondering if it's going to start moving into Ontario. And
well, do you
I know
think
at Windsor they're also having problems with their mayor recently.
In Windsor.
So it's going viral.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, people talk about corruption in Montreal as being endemic. I mean, people tend to look at Montreal as a poster child for
what not
corruption,
to do?
right?
Oh, God.
So, do you think it's actually getting better? Do you think it's a part of a trend that's actually going to make things better?
Well, it may
Quebec?
get better because I think a critical mass of the people are finally fed up because it's very expensive to live in Quebec and tax-wise and things like that. And I think people are fed up of paying so much and not getting much back because some people are getting a whole lot back. So I think it will change, actually.
I know the taxes are high, but I know people in Ontario are paying way more for auto insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And we're fed up with that here in Ontario, so we kind of envy you
what?
guys.
But you know what?
You don't need cars in Toronto. I mean, who needs a car in Toronto?
No, but in Ontario, other parts of Ontario do.
Do you need a car in Montreal?
Not really, no.
No.
Unless you want to go...
Unless you're on the West Island or something like that.
But you know what I had heard? The insurance rates are going down. Car insurance rates are going down.
I'm sure they announced that. I'm sure it's a lie. I'm sure you'll be paying more.
Well, I will let you know when it comes time for my renewal.
You'll be paying more. Guaranteed.
Actually, you know what? It's gone down every year.
Well, you must be a good driver.
So far, so good.
You get older, you get better. Your rates get better. Okay, that's enough. Okay, let's get busy with... We've got Michael Reinhart joining us here.
Hi, Michael.
As he said, from Montreal. And you are in town. You just released this new record, right? Echo?
Yeah, just a little over a week ago. And then again in Toronto on Friday.
Yeah, where did you do the release party?
The one here I did at Museum on 401 Richmond West at Spadina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a world kind of instrument store / venue. They sell a lot of African koras and bouzouki and all kinds of zithers, and it's quite the place. It's like a museum and a music venue, and they a lot of people. I think Michael Snow played there this past week. I think
Michael Snow, the
artist,
sculptor.
Yeah. And I think I heard a rumor that Mary Margaret O'Hara was playing there soon.
Wow!
But it's sold out in half an hour or something.
So you're in great company over there.
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
But you've made me. I have to say, zither. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Now that I've heard it, I have to say it. Zither.
What is that?
It's an East European sort of stringed instrument. It's got a curve on it, and it's long sometimes or short, and sometimes it's played by percussion on the strings.
Okay, so is it an acoustic instrument, like a guitar? Okay, okay. So is your music more world-type music then? Is that...
Well, it was for a long time. I released an album in 2011 called Cyprus Songs, which I recorded in Cyprus, in Limassol, and it was improvised. And it was in August when it was like 42 degrees, and I was working with a dancer and a visual artist in the studio, and sort of unconsciously all these... Cyprus is right in... It's like 100 miles from Lebanon and Syria and Turkey and Israel and Morocco, Egypt, and then you have Italy and Spain and all around it. So all these sort of influences came into my work. And my favorite guitar player is actually the late great Ali Farka Touré of Mali. So in my instrumental music, that sort of influence creeps in quite a bit.
Nice.
But this new album is it's more singer-songwriter, but I think still in my finger style. The last song on there, it's called "You Alone," and it's a bit of a African bluegrass finger picking with a vocal over top.
So Michael, is this the kind of music we would hear on a radio station or a jazz station, contemporary music, or CBC?
CBC potentially. They've played my other albums over the years. A lot of folk radio stations, I think, would play it. Possibly jazz. There's a few songs. Someone who reviewed my last album, Lost and Found, said that I made country folk sound jazzy. So
oh, wow. Okay, that's an interesting combination. Huh. It's a kind of neat crossover.
Well, we'd love to hear something. Can you play us something?
Sure, maybe I'll play a jazzy one.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about it.
Is this off Echo,
yeah,
the latest CD?
The fourth song or fifth song, I think. Broken Idea. It's called.
Song number 5.
Broken Idea.
Got into my heart. You're gonna drive me crazy, but then you did right from the start. I don't know how you did it, but you got into my head. Keep thinking I might forget you, but I keep thinking about you instead. Something keeps on telling me you wouldn't have to try very hard to have me falling down at your feet, but it's just not in the cards. You're much too beautiful just to be a friend. But if I give in to this love, girl, well, it would most probably end, and it could only end badly, so let's not even start. Why's it always seem to be so goddamn hard? And I can only think sadly that we're better off apart. But it's getting kinda tiresome, always being so smart. When it comes to the love that might have been, the stain of deceit's upon me, just like original sin. Sometimes it seems like you just can't win, and it's not for any lack of practicing. And other times it's very clear that it's sink or swim. Once the fire of love's gone touched against your skin. Lately when I see your beautiful face, I could trade this living hell for an even harder place. This broken idea, well, it's bleeding all over me. And just like a blind man, I can finally see. Please tell me what you've been thinking, and I likely gonna break that too. You know how when you've been drinking, well, nothing's ever really true. I know how to get into trouble, but not how to make it end. Don't need me another lover, don't need to lose another friend, don't need to lose another friend. So I hear you're living with some pain. Well, what can I say? Do you actually believe it's any easier for me trying to wash away the rain. But the clouds just keep on coming. Well, that ain't about to change. Do you think I'm here in paradise without an original sin? Just trying not to get too dirty. Well, now I know for sure I'll never win. Oh, I know for sure I'll never win. This broken idea, like a window that's air into the room. This broken idea, like a song chase away the gloom.
Thank you.
Love the lyrics. They're
Yeah, that
great.
song has a lot of lyrics. It's about half a phone book full, I think.
You know, I was
And
actually
two
following
chords.
along because
Two
you
chords.
actually have the lyrics in your CD.
Yes, they're
They're great. They're really cute.
Yeah, the
Very
felt-
simple, but there's a message there.
Yeah, it's about that song's about emotional accidents
Emotional
that
accidents.
happen whether you like it or not. Yeah.
Like, what is that? An emotional accident?
Well, it's like when you fall in love and you really shouldn't because you already are with somebody else. Something like that.
Oh.
Those sort of things.
Okay. And everybody's done that.
Well, it happens.
We all have emotional accidents.
Really? Now, okay, Michael. So how
Well,
long?
Rob Ford has.
Well, yeah. Michael, so how long you been doing this? The music thing?
Well, I've been in music for quite a while. I started playing professionally, mostly instrumental stuff, back in the early 80s. My partner, who I've been with for a long time, she's a dancer. And I used to make a lot of music scores for her and then some theater people, and I've done scores for a few films, and I used to perform solo guitar. And then I started singing in 2004. It just, after many years of playing instrumentally, it seemed like imperative that I start singing.
But then you have to start to write those lyrics as well.
Yeah,
right?
I'd been writing all along, and once in a while I would sing in my kitchen with myself in my fridge, humming in the background. At first when I started singing, a couple of friends of mine in Montreal, singer-songwriters, would have me open for them, so I could try it out and get over my shyness. And I was a bit shocked at first because the first couple of times I played, people commented on the how they liked the writing, and I said, because I'd been playing music instrumentally for so many years, I said, yeah, but what about the music? Because I felt like, and then it dawned on me. Then I became emboldened because people actually, because I saw the words as sort of secondary to the music. So I started writing more and probably got a little better. And
Well, that's funny you mention that, because my next question was going to be, what is more important to you, the actual writing, the lyrics themselves, or the music?
I think the most important thing is making them work together.
Okay.
I made an album years ago before I actually started singing publicly, and I wrote all the music and I recorded it, and then I wrote some lyrics, and then I overdubbed with a friend of mine. It took about a year, and then I had an album, which didn't turn out like as well as I wanted, but I couldn't perform them live because I had written the music, and then I created the words and the singing to the recording. So the lesson it taught me was write songs with your guitar, because then you can perform them later. Because I was creating things that had such complicated rhythms, and then I would create something with the vocals or the words, the phrasing that was just impossible for me to physically do.
You know, I heard the way the Stones do it is that they just, they start to just jam it out until they get something that's working, right? And then Mick will just come in and you'll just make up sounds and a melody that goes with that, and then he'll craft the lyrics after to kind of fit the melody and the you know, the sounds that he's come up with.
Okay, but are the Rolling Stones known for their lyrical content? Like, the lyrics for this song are very clever, and there's, you know, it's definitely a perspective. So to me, it's very thoughtful, right? They're thought-provoking, and I'm not. Would the Rolling Stones be in that category as far as their lyrical content?
Sometimes.
Well, I think they've had a few memorable songs that people can sing.
Okay, that's not the same. That's not what I'm asking.
I mean, it's that's one process, and and you're sort of.
Apparently, U2 does the same thing.
Oh, do they?
Bono, yeah, he does just sounds, and I often do that too. And then maybe one line will come, and then the whole song comes from that line, or a chorus or something. You just start adding, and I tend to lyrics come to me. I take walks, and I carry a little book I have in my pocket. And I often stop at one block in one corner, and then I'll walk a block, and so I do a lot of writing while I'm walking. And
So
one song on the album, "Bide My Time," I wrote it while I was driving, which is really not suggested for kids at home.
It's like texting.
It's worse than texting.
Yeah, as long as you weren't typing it into your smartphone.
No, I had my eyes on the road, and I had my hand on the wheel, and my head the other hand writing over here, and so it was very hard to read.
I was going to say, could you read that after? So
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day, it's just very organic and unique to each person and band, right?
Yeah, and it comes differently every time. This song that I just did in particular, working out the phrasing, that's the whole song, how the words fit into and the guitar is very simple. It's 2 chords, basically. But within that, there's also a percussion and a bass line.
Right.
Well, would you do another one for us?
Sure. Maybe I'll do the album rock song, what I call the rock song. It's Break Me Into Little Pieces. We're on a broken theme today.
I was going to, break me into little pieces. We like that word, break.
Yeah. Actually, the album, when we made it, was, for some reason, the fellow I was working with, he entered all the songs in alphabetical order. So for 2.5 years while we were making it, he would give me CDs to take home to listen to, and I always heard the album in alphabetical order. So when it came time to do the order, which everybody says is so critical, most of the songs ended up still in alphabetical order because I liked the way it was working. I switched around a few. There's an S that comes after the E, I think, and it goes back to N.
Oh, yes. Very
This is
funny.
called Break Me Into Little Pieces.
Like Jesus, snacking in a homemade crown. Wake me up come early morning, I don't wanna miss a sun. Then kiss me real hard without warning, kiss me again when I think we're done. Judge me like a vengeful God from up above, stop me till I come. This one day you'll have to do without my love. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds and around and around and around. Pass me in your silent movie. Tell me not to talk so loud. The script that's groovy and reminds of the crowd. Don't think I'm your alter ego. Oh, there's a line I ain't believing. There's a shadow fall wherever we go. There's peace on me. successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds and around and around and around. Round and around and around and oh, you drown me in your perfect wind. Check to see if I'm still breathing. Oh, you're an ocean that I can't swim. It's killing me, I guess we're even. Strike me like a lightning bolt from up above. Slap me till I come around. It's one day you'll have to do without my love. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds around and around and around and around.
That was nice. I like the energy of that one.
Yeah, it's a good one to work up a sweat on a humid day.
So now, when you have the full band on that, Michael, what is happening? What's playing?
This song in
instrumentation?
particular is quite something. I have a very young violin player, Sarah Frank. She plays with a group in Montreal called the Bombadils. They're a Celtic jazz bluegrass band. They're absolutely phenomenal energy. She's a recent graduate of McGill, and she does some amazing spirited fiddle work on that one.
Wow,
And
I can actually hear that with that song. That would actually be a really nice compliment.
it's quite something. It would have been nice to have her here. And then I have Patrick Graham playing some percussion on it, and I did a little bit of additional percussion as well.
Do you have a regular band that you play with, or?
Well, I have on my previous album, Lost and Found. I have a couple of young guys playing. Jeremy Roy and David Rishpan. Jeremy plays the contrabass, the upright bass,
Wow.
and David plays keyboards, accordion, and piano. David is on. Actually plays on Broken Idea, the one the song I did previously. Plays accordion on it, which is quite nice.
Oh, it's great. Sometimes a song calls for a certain instrument.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Those two guys I play with live quite a bit. On this last album, though, Echo, most of the people are just invited guests anywhere from Vancouver, a woman named Peggy Lee who plays cello, Broken Idea, Toronto singer-songwriter Noah Zacharin.
I know Noah.
He plays guitar solo at the very end and really brings it home.
He's great, that
nicely.
guy.
Jeff Bird plays mandolin on a track. He plays with Cowboy Junkies ever since the Trinity sessions, and
Nice.
and various other people. Allison Wedding from Brooklyn sings backup vocals beautifully on about 7 or 8 tracks. So.
Now, okay, so you've done the opening in Toronto, and you've got one coming up in Montreal. Do you want to just tell us where and when that one's?
Yeah, I have on June 20th. It's a Thursday. It's what we call in Montreal a 5 à 7. It's 5 to 7. Music will probably start around 6 p.m. or thereabouts. It's at a place called Robin des Bois, which is the French name for Robin Hood. It's a beautiful venue. It's right on Boulevard Saint Laurent, the main.
Which one?
Main drag, Saint Laurent.
Oh, Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you speak French, Michael?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you do any French lyrics?
I've thrown some phrases and words into songs.
Yeah.
I've attempted a few times to write, but I haven't worked up the courage yet. But I think on my next album I'll have 1 or 2 for sure.
Now, any chance for people in Toronto to see you in the near future or elsewhere?
Probably be back in the fall. I generally play in Toronto twice a year.
Okay.
various venues.
And are you touring out west or something at some point?
Yeah,
too?
I live part-time in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm going to be in BC in the end of August, early September, and I'll probably do a Alberta CD launch as well.
See, I would think when you're living part-time in Alberta, okay, that would be like in the summer months, not the...
Yeah, that would be the conventional wisdom, but my partner teaches at the university there, so she has 4 months off in the summer, and so we tend to like to go to other places.
Well, it's been great to have you here. Thanks for coming in, and
thanks for having me on.
Good luck in Montreal. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up in Montreal in the middle of June and get to check you out.
Good luck in French?
Bonne chance.
Merci.
And here's the CDs. Where can people get their hands on these?
They're available on iTunes and CD Baby. You can get the actual CD.
Now, do you have links from your own website as well?
Yeah, you can get the links on my website, and you can actually listen to the total album of Lost and Found, my last album. It's the whole thing's up there.
Oh wow! So it's the website is michaelreinhart.com.
That's it.
Is that it?
Reinhart without a D. It's
right.
H-A-R-T.
Yeah, the easy way.
Unlike Django.
Right. Okay. Well, Michael, thanks.
Thank
really
you,
pleasure to
Michael.
have you here.
Thank you very
Great
much, and good luck with your latest CD. It's beautiful.
And we're going to go with actually from the CD, that same track, get people to hear some of that violin and just give them a little sample of the record. And we're going to come back with Paul Perrier, who's also from Montreal, just a coincidence. And we will continue as Liquid Lunch continues.
Oh, break me into little pieces. Kiss me till I'm falling down. I don't want to end up just like Jesus, sad king in the homemade crown. Wake me up come early morning. I don't want to miss the sun. Then kiss me real hard without warning. Kiss me again when I think we're done. Touch me like a vengeful God from up above. Slap me till I go around. I guess one day you'll have to do without my love. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds around. There's plenty more successful rounds. That's groovy. Can't hear my lines above the crowd. Don't think I'm your alter ego. Oh, there's a line I ain't believe. There's a shadow fall wherever we go. Now I'm in the dark, I must be some heathen.
I was sick of all the sadness, tired of the fight. I was down on my luck, I'd been walking all night. I stumbled into traffic, looking for a light. I was down on my luck, I'd been walking all night. Oh, another chapter ends. Whoa, another one begins, and everybody's got a story underneath it all. Brick by brick we build it up again. fall. But I'll be there for you if you need me to. Tell me, how are you? How are you? Down around the corner, I noticed quite a crowd. People yelling for help. Another good person down. I guess I should be happy. It's never been all bad. Yeah, I've been through a lot, but I'm thankful for that. And everybody's got a story underneath it all. Brick by brick we build it up again to watch it fall. But I'll be there for you if you need me to. Tell me, how are you? How are you? Every disaster leads you to sunshine. We're gonna make it. We're gonna be fine. Every disaster leads you to sunshine. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. Yeah, you will. And everybody's got a story underneath it all. Brick by brick we build it up again to watch it fall. But I'll be there for you if you need me to. Tell me, how are you? How are you?
And welcome back to the show. So there was,
What?
well, we had,
Go.
what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
It's this echo.
the echo. We just want to hear ourselves talk.
And go figure, Echo was the name of Michael's CD.
Coincidence?
How cool
I don't
is
think
that?
so.
No, I don't think so either.
Oh, before we get to, we just saw that video with Paul Perrier, and we've got Paul joining us here. And Paul, great to have you here back on the show. So let's, so what's the story, Morning Glory? And watch your glasses don't hit your mic there.
Love
because,
that video. It was so cool. I love that video.
Thank you.
I love just the eyes.
I like when it went psychedelic. You sure got pretty eyes.
Are they really your eyes?
Yeah, so basically, I've been on Hugh's show a few times. I'm a photographer, I make films, gotten into a whole bunch of different creative areas.
That's why there's funny people behind you taking pictures right now.
A great Baldini. And so, yeah, so I started as a photographer, and I'm writing a book, trying to write a book about my life as a photographer and how digital technology has literally deleted what I learned to do over 20. I studied film and became a photographer, built a business, but as technology and iPhones now, you
become obsolete.
Well, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
You can take amazing pictures with a 99-cent app, and it has changed everything. And I saw it coming. It's sort of why I started to make documentaries. I just went, like music, there was going to be this tsunami effect that I didn't think it'd be this fast, and I didn't think it'd be this dramatic, but it has been, and I've lived through an interesting time as to what I was doing, and I've documented it. And I originally thought this might be a film, and it may be a film one day, but I just thought I hadn't written a book before, and I thought it'd be an interesting thing to try. And I'd been following crowdsourcing, which is it's not new, but it's now gaining popularity. Like you were talking about the Rob Ford video.
Okay, what exactly is crowdsourcing? I'm hearing so much about that now.
Fabulous question, Sandra.
So
educate me.
Crowdsourcing is a way for artists use it quite a bit, but it could be anybody with a product. There's the site that I'm on is called Indiegogo, and you put up your project, and my project is a book that I've written one chapter of.
Okay.
I made a little film trying to describe what I'm doing. I try to draw people to it to get interested in it, and if they're interested, the way they can participate is buying the finished product, which will be a book for me.
So they're investing, excuse me, investing ahead of time is what you're saying, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And then, and I've done this with musicians that I've liked. I've put some money in, and you get to sort of follow along on the process and be part of the process. And with some, like a band that I backed would send out early versions of their songs and let you hear that, or demos, or let the people who are participating name a song or something. So it's a way to have interaction with people who are interested in your work, hopefully.
So how is this any different than donations? Sounds to me like
donations is you're giving something for nothing. Here you're getting something.
Okay.
So we just saw it. We pulled up the site a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
The Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Your page about this particular project.
Right.
So, and I noticed there. Look,
so there's a specific
already. You've got over $4,200 raised. And
I can't even see that. You can see that number. I can't.
Now, how does that work, Paul? I mean, this is like your first shot at doing crowdsourcing.
Yeah. So, as you see on the page, there's the videos at the top. There's an explanation of what I'm doing, and on the side are different ways that you can. Donate. It's not donate.
But like, is it certain price ranges? Like, if you give $10, you get this. $20, you get this.
Right.
Like,
and one will be
gold or platinum or silver or bronze.
Yeah, they're called perks. So, like, one of the perks I did was, so one's a digital download of the book, a hard copy of the book, a signed and numbered hard copy. So each costs a bit more. One of the perks is I'll write you into the book if you put $250 up. So a few people have done that.
Why don't you cater an 8-person catering thing at somebody's place and cook for them? I'm kidding. I know a lot of people do things like that.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting. So now, how does it work, Paul? So have you already collected that money?
No, it's a 30. Well, you can make the campaign go as long as you want. I decided to do a month, so it's about halfway through. And I set a goal of $20,000. So I don't think I'll make that goal, but I'm still working, and like anything, you've got to promote. Coming here is a way to hopefully somebody will see it and go, oh, maybe I'm interested, or there's other ways to help too, which is just by sharing it and by talking about it and whatever.
Now, how does it work? So if you don't, what happens if you don't reach your goal?
Well, do you
still get the money?
Yeah, but they take a bit more of a percent. So this site takes a percentage of what's raised. Yeah. And if you don't reach your goal, the percentage is a bit more.
Oh, I see. So that's Indiegogo.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and there's another one called Kickstarter was the first.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to stop you from just doing it on your own website, is there? Or do they promote you too? Like, what's the advantage of being on an Indiegogo instead of just having your own website and having a PayPal button?
Well, it's all set up for you to do.
Oh, okay. Like the back end, the software and everything. It's like a template.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and people know about them, then you could do it yourself, but I've been following this and am interested in it as a funding source for artists, and there's less and less funding
for everything.
I make films, but I haven't been able to get money to make a film since my last film, which was 7 years ago.
Well, it's interesting because here you're talking about how, in a sense, your livelihood has been taken away by the advance of technology. And you're not the only one, of course. The record industry, all kinds of.
Well, it's going to happen more and more. That's the other part of what I'm trying to say is, if you think you're safe in your job, I never thought this would happen this bad, but there's tons of jobs.
Well, there's still lots of money in government and banking.
Not for long.
Right? So you can always get a job ripping people off by working in a bank.
Or creating stories about Rob Ford.
Right, making that up out of
Thin air.
Having an unusual meaning in the back of a car.
Who knows about that one?
Because you know what? I mean, if they put that on YouTube and they get millions of people watching that, don't they get money for that? On YouTube, isn't that, don't you
Well,
make
you
money?
could set that up, right?
Yeah.
For ads.
Yeah.
I'm noticing there's a lot more ads on YouTube these days.
Now they're beginning to charge on YouTube.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah.
Who?
Like YouTube itself?
Yeah, to watch certain programs.
Wow.
And there's more ads.
Did
too,
YouTube go
which I'm
public
not
or
like.
something? Is it a public
Well, they're owned
company?
by Google.
Okay.
They got bought by Google.
Okay.
So, Paul, where do you think this is all headed with the advance of technology? And are you going to cover this in your book?
Well, that's the bigger theme of my book. I'm using personal stories and photographs that I've taken throughout my career to tell my story and how it's affected me. But yeah, it's you know, you mentioned the music industry. I always followed the music industry. They were affected by digital technology, probably one of the first industries, and I knew that was going to happen to photography. And it's happening to film and video now, where you can shoot on your iPhone, edit on your iPhone, send it out, and you don't have to know anything anymore. Whereas when I started, it was a trade almost. You know, I studied, I knew what, you had to know what film did, how it reacted, then you had to know the chemical process, you had to know printing, you had to know. Now it's just get a phone and take amazing pictures.
And there's no way you can use this to your advantage.
Well, I've used technology to my advantage for sure. When I started making documentary films, the reason I could make them was because at that point, technology, you didn't need a big studio behind you. You could, if you had an idea, I shot my first, you know, my films are shot on these little handy cams. I don't use crews, I don't use anything. It's just a style, but it's using digital technology. So that helped me. When my photography was waning, I started to get work doing editing or shooting or whatever. But even that is now beginning to...
Now, do you think there's a net benefit, though? Because people are saying, like, for example, in the music industry, yes, it's tough to get a record deal and it's tough to sell records, right? On the other hand, it's easier for an artist to manage their own career, cut out the middleman.
Well, that's
the upside.
The upside.
Yeah.
You have all the tools now. If you're a musician, it's like anything. You've got to create your crowd, build a crowd, and now you can do it. Whether anybody says, like, whether somebody at a record label says, you're not gonna sell anything. It's like, well, I'm going to try.
Yeah, to be with a record label is very different now. It doesn't mean anything close to what it used to mean, right?
Well, most people don't want it. It's like, I mean, I approached publishers about this, you know, and it's again, what I've always faced is, well, you've never done it before, right? There's always a reason why you can't do it, and I always think, well, it's a new voice. That's going to be an advantage, but they're, you know, conservative and only want to go with things that they think may make them a lot of money, and won't take chances. So I just went, here's a way to do it, and there's a lot of people doing it.
But do you even really want to be signed by a major publisher? Because you give up a lot of, like record deals, you give up a lot of creative control, right?
Totally. Yeah, no.
So it may not be your best advantage anyway.
Because in a way, the thing is, a record, you know, even in the old days, right? If you weren't providing a net profit to the company, the record company or the publisher, whatever, it wasn't really worth it for them,
right? Or
the deal didn't make sense, right? So now it's the same situation. The deal still has to make sense, but you can cut the middleman out.
There's as I was studying or looking at crowdsourcing, the most successful person to ever crowdsource is a woman named Amanda Palmer. She's a musician.
In the States or in Canada?
In the States. Okay. And was signed by she was formerly a street performer.
Okay.
but musician also.
Okay.
She got signed by a label. They did their first album. The album came out, it sold 25,000 copies. She was ecstatic. The record label went, "This isn't very good. You're not selling enough." So she quit the label, did a Kickstarter campaign for her next album, and those 25,000 people gave her more than $1 million to do her next album.
And she got to keep it all as opposed to the record label. Yeah. Wow, what a gift that was, dropping.
Yeah. So Paul, is this your first crowdsourcing thing that you've done?
Yeah.
Now, to me, that looks pretty good. You've raised over $4,000, and that's too. Awesome. So congratulations.
Listen, when I got the first thing that came in, like it's a weird thing too, because it's in a sense it's like public begging almost, right? Even though you're offering something, there's this kind of, I need your help here. You know, I've kind of run out of ways to get money to do what I want to do, and you know, if you're interested, and you know, I know people buy books all the time, and so you're investing in a product and an experience, because if you do put some money in, you go along for the ride till you get the finished product. And yeah, it's a fascinating social experiment for me, for sure. Like pushing that button to make that thing go live, I was like, oh my God, do I do this? Do I do this? And then it's like, oh, let's just see what happens. And
good for you for jumping into the abyss like that.
You know, but I've been doing that for a while now, so it makes sense, but it's still hard. But you push that, and then you go. And I sent it out to all my contacts that I'd made over, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I pulled out old business cards, whatever, and I just said, here's what I'm doing, take a look, if you're interested. And so I pushed it. It was a Sunday afternoon or something, and then at 5 o'clock, so whenever somebody does donate, I get a notice saying so-and-so. So the first one, I go to my phone, and there's an email, and it says, congratulations, you have a contribution for Point and Shoot, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, oh, cool. It's $1. it's at least one, but it's from somebody I don't know.
Well, that's good. That's encouraging.
Right,
but think about it, okay? If 10,000 people gave you $1,
yeah,
what would that equal?
A lot of pennies.
But you're right. But even that $1, I went, oh, that's so cool. Somebody is paying me to read.
You don't even know.
That I don't know, and I'm not a writer, and so yeah, it's a fascinating experiment to see the reactions.
Do you get people emailing you too? Can they ask you questions?
Yeah. It's a social thing where you can people comment about it, and as I've always done, when people comment on my work, is comment back or thank them. Or
so, how much time does this take of your day to respond, go back and forth on Indiegogo?
Not that much.
Okay.
There's not a million. There's not 25,000 people.
Okay. Can you imagine though? Wow.
Yeah, but who knows, right? Yeah, I don't. So, how much time does it take? If somebody sends me something, I can't do it always right away. But at one point, I can take their email and go, thank you. I can't believe you're helping me with this, but thank you, and I hope that you like my finished product, whatever it is.
Well, when is the I mean, have those people paid already, or do they just pledge to pay?
They pledge, and then at the end of the 30 days, that's what I use to continue. And you know, if I don't raise enough money, I'll take what I've raised and try to upsell it to, like, the fact that I've raised that much money on writing one chapter is pretty amazing to me.
It is, actually.
You know, there's authors out there who write books and don't make that much money.
Okay, so why don't we just tell people right now before I just want to ask you about the book too, but if they want to go on the site right now and contribute, where do they go exactly?
So it's Indiegogo, and it's INDIEGOO.
Yeah.
G-O-G-O or
Sorry, Indiegogo.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, there's hundreds of, or maybe thousands, but my project is called Point and Shoot.
Yeah.
The Death of Photography.
So they can just type that in.
A memoir.
Okay.
But Point and Shoot. If you put Point and Shoot.
Okay, that's great. So now the book itself. So we've talked about, you know, it's the economic pressures from the changing technology landscape are affecting you as a photographer. Now, how much of the book is going to be about that kind of subject matter?
Well, I haven't written the book yet, so I'm not 100% sure. But it's definitely at a point in my story of evolving as a photographer and filmmaker. It was technology that made me realize, oh my God, I put all this work and time and money into something that's not going to be relevant soon. Mm-hmm. And it's not that photography is not relevant anymore. The business of photography is relevant.
The art of photography.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's digital photography, which is different from photography. Like I went to school to be a photographer, which I'm old. I'm 53 years old, but when I started out in the beginning of my career, it was all film. There was no digital.
Right.
Like I got my first digital camera.
So okay, let's can we just try to double down? I hate that expression. On this though, why? Because before, why were people able to charge for photography and now they can't? Somehow there was value in it before, and now there isn't.
You had to know something. Because not anybody could.
It was the expertise.
Well, yeah, you had to. It was like being imagine if they developed an app for a plumber now, where you could just go to your thing.
Point
and
your cell phone at the pipes and it fixes.
And it fixes. But a plumber has to know a bunch of things. A photographer had to know a bunch of things. And now you can buy a good camera, know nothing.
Okay, so let's just think about it for a minute. Okay, so. Although that's bad for you as a photographer,
right?
It's good for everybody else because they get free pictures.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
Now, so it's all evening out for everyone.
Yeah. Of course it affects me more than everybody else. Yeah. Like
affects you negatively, affects us positively.
But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out where the value can come back to you on this.
With technology?
I don't know.
Anything.
Well, I mean the Indiegogo thing is technology.
Yeah.
It's a new form of raising money.
Think about that. That's over $4,000 for your project already.
Right.
So you know what this reminds me of, though? Because I mean, accounting. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have all kinds of a simple accounting and basic accounting, and you can do your own income taxes. I guess it's a similar situation because a lot of these accountants, their value has gone down because you can do QuickBooks and do your own business.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what kinds of ways do those people?
Well, bank tellers were. There used to be tons of bank tellers, right? That now everybody just.
Well, every time I wait in line at the bank,
right.
I know that.
But not too many people go to bank tellers anymore. It's all done online and or in the ATM, and that's another way technology has gotten rid of jobs. Like technology takes away more jobs than it creates, I think.
It was supposed to do that, but it was supposed to free us up. Right. It was supposed to do it in a good way, not create more stress on the economy.
I'm just glad that the banks are making more money than ever.
And keeping
that trend continues,
keeping it.
And keeping it, and charging more and more money for credit cards and interest rates
waiting in line.
Stuff.
So, but there are lots of jobs and professions that the same thing that has happened to my profession could happen to them. And
what are the implications for broader society?
a poor society?
I don't know. I mean, I have 2 daughters who are, you know, going into high school now, and are, you know, will be facing the world coming out of whatever they do in school or whatever.
So
a lot of kids are coming out
of
school with, you know, a large debt and no jobs.
But they can get jobs as guards at the new FEMA camps.
Yeah. You know, you can do.
There's going to be lots of those jobs.
Yeah, I think there's lots of implications for everybody, and it's something people should think about, because, you know, people, when they have a good job and everything, I think they think, oh, this is it.
Well,
I'm set.
Do you remember when IT was all the craze and everybody was going into IT? Right, and it got to the point where you graduated, so if you were in a 4-year computer science program or something, by the time you were in your 4th year and graduated, it was obsolete. Yeah. So you started to look for a job, and
you're right.
Now IT's obsolete.
And now, well, pretty much. So how, that's a really good point.
And it's also
IT stands for a reason.
It's obsolete.
It's obsolete. No, but you were going to say something? Sorry.
Well, just that technology is speeding up.
Yeah.
Like, so everything, what used to take 20 years to cause a change, now literally takes, I don't know, 20 weeks.
So what do you do when you are in high school and you think, okay, what do I want to be when I grow up? Where do I want to go? That is a scary thought, actually, for kids that are facing that.
The first chapter I wrote that I gave to anybody who wanted to read it to see if they were interested was this picture I took when I was backpacking through Europe. When I didn't know what I wanted to do, I dropped out of college and decided I'm going to travel. And I took this picture, and when I got back from my travels, I looked at the picture and I thought it was a really good picture. And I thought, I wonder, maybe I had to make a decision of what I was going to do. And I had just had this pretty wild trip through backpacking through Europe. And I went, I wonder if I could learn photography and make a career out of it, having no clue. Never really thinking about what that means. It's just this, and I think everybody does it. It's like, I want to be in TV, I want to be an actor, I want to be a musician, I want to be a magician, whatever. There's this young, idealized vision of what it's going to be, but now as I've been in it for my whole life almost, I look back on it, and you then put that journey together, and it's very different from what I ever imagined it would be at the beginning.
I would hope it would be different in a really positive way.
Well, there's lots of positives, but there's also lots of negatives. In anything, there's positives, and whatever you choose to do, at one point you have to go, did I make the right decision? Do I change? I've had to change from being a photographer to making films. That wasn't easy. Now I'm trying to do the same, but they're all sort of storytelling and things I'm interested in, and they're hard, but I love it.
So I guess the secret to success now is really adaptability, and how willing you are to change and open you are to change, I guess.
Yeah, you have. I mean, you have to change.
It's so fluid now, right? Everything is so fast moving.
Yeah.
You have to be able to survive without any money.
Yeah,
just in case.
Yeah, you need people to survive. Like, that's part of this.
That's why we have global warming, because in case we have to all live on the streets, at least it'll be warm.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And we won't need to eat because we'll all be breatharians.
That's right.
So we'll have air and prayer.
And think about it. Without, having to break up your day with meals, you just got a lot more free time.
To play music and take pictures with your iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul. Well, listen. It's actually phenomenal what you've done here. Raised over $4,000 already. That's tremendous.
On that.
Crazy.
Absolutely. And now, do you have a website or something where people can?
Well, I have my art sort of website, which is blatantexposure.ca, which is the Las Vegas art project, which you've talked about with me, and the film, the Crack Not Broken film.
Which is a great film. Is that on there as well?
No, it's not. It's cracknotbroken.com.
Okay, do you have links from these sites to your Indiegogo?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So maybe they can start at exposure.ca and link to the Indiegogo.
Okay, the word broken has been used in the first two guests, so now we have to continue that word broken. It's a broken theme. So with Dennis and Baldini, we have to use that word broken.
He'll break some balloons for you.
You're going to wreck the synchronicity.
Keeps the synchronicity.
You're forcing synchronicity. It doesn't work, Sandra.
Okay, well, it'll happen naturally.
All right. Okay, Paul, thanks for doing
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
Did we miss anything?
You.
Did we cover everything?
Yeah, no.
What about your dog?
I
Can we
love
see the
your
dog?
dog,
Let's just look at the dog is here.
Cinema.
We got a camera on it. And we did have a camera on it.
Cinema.
There he is.
Cinema.
What a great name, Cinema.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oops, there he is. Okay, good.
Hi, Cinema.
Cinema. Okay,
My
we
buddy.
gotta pet the dog now.
Thanks.
But thanks, Paul.
Thank you, and good luck, and I hope you reach your goal. But if you don't, that's amazing. What you've done is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get ready to pet the dog. But before we do that, you know they had that big tornado, right?
In Oklahoma,
I
yes.
know. Okay.
Yes.
I got some video. This is the actual tornado forming. This is ominous video.
Who has the wherewithal to sit there and watch that and not run for their life?
See, Paul, in the old days, you would have had to pay a photographer a lot of money to get this footage, but now it's free and it's available right now.
Well,
and it's instant.
News reporters, you're right, news reporters, everybody with a cell phone, that's where they get the best footage.
Exactly. So here it is, and we're going to come back. I'm not sure who's Dennis is coming on or Baldini, but the Liquid Lunch will continue right after this awesome footage.
Scary. Scary.
just a couple miles north of the Bailey Turnpike, right there on the ground.
Okay, so we're back here on the show, and we've got Baldini joining us here. And Baldini, it's surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Yes, it's almost.
Nice to meet you.
And you. It's the last time I was here was 14 months ago. We calculated by the virtues of modern technology.
I know, but I saw you last night, and
that's what
here you are today.
I was going to say it's like deja vu because although 14 months ago the bar we frequented that night was called Annex Live, and now it's called Measure, owned by our good friend Bill Clary. So a little shout out. Check it out. It's the hottest live music place in the Annex.
In the Annex.
Yeah. And it was, I had to leave when the rain hit last night.
Yes, the storm.
But you told me that the jam, which got started late, but it started hitting its stride a little bit later.
Yeah, and again, we were discussing that as well. If fireworks people are going to go check that out and come later, or they're away for the weekend. But I have a feeling that this jam is going to turn into a really big thing. It's run by a girl named Michelle Truman. She's an amazing vocalist.
She's the blonde girl, right?
Yeah, she is you should have her on the show.
She should have her own show. Call it the Truman Show.
We'll talk to her next Monday night when we go out and jam, right? So, where are you going?
Don't worry about it, Baldini.
So, would you like to know about Baldini?
Well, no, talk a little bit more about what happened last night.
Yeah, so no, nothing major, but it was just an open jam, and I sing as well, and I'm actually a photographer as well, not quite the level as Paul Perrier, or Paul Dini, the great Paul Dini, as I like to call him, who's a good friend of mine as well. So I'll be shooting photos there next Monday night. And of course, I always have my balloons on me and my magic tricks and elastic bands.
Yes, you know what?
I have an elastic band now that I think about it.
You do. We've been trying to look for an elastic band in the studio, and I
forgot because there's an elastic band strapped on to my deck that's holding.
Oh my God! I was going to say, you know
Baldini.
what?
Wait, is that part of the trick?
You can call me God.
It's part of the trick.
No, I honestly completely forgot. But do you want to jump right into that right away? But then, no. Okay, good. We'll wait.
Good.
So so to wrap up last night, Measure is it's being run by my friend Bill, and he's totally on point as you can back up, and the place is spanking, sparkling clean, and great sound system, etc.
Know everybody in the city. Is there anybody you don't know?
Well, sure, but I mean, by virtue of what I do, I'm out there meeting 15 to 20 people a night by virtue of what I do. So I just come into contact with that many people. And what's interesting is like 4 or 5 months later, someone will go, Baldini, and I'm like trying to place the person. Now everyone remembers the bald guy with cards, right? Baldini. Yeah. And I sometimes have trouble, but I do know a lot of people.
You need a Rolodex.
What, we're going off the grid or what? The Rolodex? Like, what the hell?
Yes!
Yes, IT is dead. We're going back to the Rolodex. Goodness gracious.
No, I mean.
What do you mean?
I mean like a cell phone, a digital Rolodex is what I meant.
I do. Of
like
course
one of those old-style organizers.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to take the number and name of every single person I come into contact with.
You should, Baldini. They should have a QR code on their head.
Yes.
Just point your phone at.
There's an idea.
Right? Because you know what? When photography goes out of business, when magicianship goes out of business, you
impossible.
Are going
Never.
to have
not
this
going to
digital
happen.
Rolodex, and that's because you have all those names. Everybody's going to want to pay you.
I'll take it under advice. But just a point of clarity: magicianship, as you call it, or magic, is never going to go out of style. It's been around forever and will continue to be around to everyone.
It'll be probably one of the most popular forms of entertainment in the FEMA camp.
Okay, so wait a second. It's going to be like cockroaches. It will withstand nuclear war.
I don't know.
I don't know what the comparison of magic to cockroaches, but I'll go with a withstand nuclear war for sure.
See,
for sure.
That's what's going to happen. Sandra believes that after the nuclear war, we are all going to come back as a civilization of large insects. The cockroach. So
that kind of bugs me.
Okay.
That's my good comedy.
See, this is what Baldini is. The great Baldini.
I'm slightly above average.
So that's
again.
news to me, by the way. I do not believe that. But thank
What?
you
That
anyway,
cockroaches
Hugh.
can
No,
survive
there's gonna-
nuclear war?
No,
or
no,
what?
there's going to be a nuclear war, and humans are going to come back as big, giant cockroaches.
And we digress. So anyway, let's talk about magic and my teaching. And
Yeah, let's do that.
let's do that.
You're teaching magic now.
I am. That has become my thing. I mean, I still get booked for corporate gigs and kids' parties and balloons and all sorts of stuff like that. However, about 3 years ago, I worked at the Ontario Science Centre. We created a program called Creative Science Sunday. Well, it was in place, but I was one of the programs, and it was the science of perception. That was the name of the course, because magic is very much based in scientific principle. I mean, a very basic example. I don't know how well you can see this paperclip, and I'll do it down here.
You can see that's what it looks like.
Oh, beautiful. So here's my face, and you can, I don't know if this is going to work, but I go like this, right? Now I looked over here, and that makes people look here when I actually created a move that kept it here. And the science is where I look, you look. That's a very, very basic example of how science anyway.
Okay, this is how you're going to put magicians out of business. See?
No.
You're telling me all this.
Stop. Have you
Now
heard of a
when I
thing
go to
called YouTube? It's not me. There's people say to me, "How do you do that?" I say, "You really want to know?
Why?
Go home, Google it, YouTube it. There are thousands of videos that explain every trick. The question is, do you really want to know? What I am doing is completely different. I am empowering children and sometimes adults with confidence, interpersonal skills, okay, and the ability, most importantly, to make people smile. And there is no greater reward in life, in my book anyway. So
good for you.
But where did it all start? It started at the Ontario Science Centre. We did like these Creative Science Sundays, and I taught 5 tricks. Now I'm in 3 public schools in their lunchtime programs that run 8 weeks, and by the end of the 8 weeks, these kids ranging in age from 7 to 12 or 11 learn over 25 tricks. And I'm going to show you one today, and I'm going to teach it to you.
How neat.
Okay, can I do that? Yeah? Or would you like to ask me some more questions?
No, I want to learn it.
Okay, well, here we go. So we'll do it on Sandra, and then I will do the ring and the elastic for you as you've requested.
Can't you do it on Hugh?
We can do it on Hugh, whatever you like.
On Sandra.
All right, so here we go. Here I have 1, 2, 3 cards. Oh, you know what's funny?
No, that's okay.
One of the cards is green, so it's kind of blending into the background.
It's a magic card.
That's
It's a magic card.
It's a hologram.
Yeah, that's wild. So I didn't even think of that. I should have thought of that. I knew not to wear green. I knew that much. But anyway, we have these 3 cards. Now, Sandra.
We can't see that, Baldini. Just
well, they're
You gotta put them up.
there they are. Yay, we got it. I mean, that's good enough anyway. You'll see why. Nothing's going to change. There's nothing really to look at.
Okay.
3 cards, red, blue, green. I want you, Sandra, in your mind to pick one, but don't tell me the color. You got it?
Yeah.
Now change your mind. Okay?
Okay.
Now change your mind again if you want to.
Okay.
Done. Now, see, the reason I do all that is because I don't want to rely on a psychological principle like, well, most people gravitate to red. Like maybe you picked red first. I don't know. And this is not a psychological game. I asked you to change your mind, so it wouldn't be the obvious one that people gravitate to. And then I asked you to change your mind again if you wanted to, and I didn't know if you're a mind-changing person or not. So there's no way I could know which one you ended up on, right? I've made a prediction. My prediction is sealed. 100% I know it is correct. Which one did you land on? Red, blue, or green? What was your final answer? Say it out loud.
Red.
Red. Okay. And you know, I knew that because here, in this envelope, and I want to see if we can get it on camera, is one and only one card. The prediction, red.
Can I look in that envelope?
Well, you don't have to do that because you can absolutely look in the envelope, but it doesn't matter because I'm about to explain the trick to you. This is one of the tricks I teach. Okay?
Right.
So if I make the statement to you, 100% this is correct. Well, obviously, what happens if you pick one of the other 2? Well, let's try. Pick another one other than red.
Okay.
Say it out loud.
Blue.
I knew you'd say that because you see here on the back of this envelope, there it is.
Oh,
it's blue.
My God.
No, it's Baldini. We've been over that, but you can call me God if you want. Now, obviously, the last choice is
green.
Green. And at which point, I don't know if we're getting tight again on this. Tight on this? Yeah? There's nothing on the back of the red. There's nothing on the back of the blue. But I knew you'd pick green, and I put a Baldini sticker on it. So that's how it's done.
Okay,
So let me
if I
explain the
was-
principle.
Okay.
It's called multiple outs. And in magic, a magician, no matter what happens, he has an out, the answer. Okay? This is a perfect example of multiple outs. So I can teach this to my kids in my class. And but you don't have to do it with these pretty cards like this. It's just little promotional materials I put together for myself. But you can do it with 3 playing cards. Say the 7 of spades, 2 of clubs, 9 of diamonds. You write the 7 of spades on the back. You put a piece of paper inside with the 2 of clubs written on it. And on the back of the 9 of diamonds, you put an X on it. And I teach this to kids. They come back the next week and they're like, Baldini, 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 I did the 3-card trick, the mind control trick. My mom didn't know. She didn't know. And I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now, and this is why I do it. So it's an amazing thing, you know, again. And now what's happening, you know, as
now I'm like, I know now that I know the trick.
It sucks.
It's the magic is gone.
Absolutely, and that's what people do. They're always saying, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" And maybe I give away one secret here, and then they go, "Oh." And I go, see, you don't want to know, right? You don't want to know. But I teach some basic stuff. You know, I mean, this is pretty powerful stuff, but it is basic. But we're going to move right along for another trick, aren't we?
Are we gonna? I wanted to ask you something else.
Oh, shoot. Go crazy.
About one of these guys.
I'm still stunned.
I'm going to ask you about that other guy. Should I ask you about that other guy?
Who?
You know, that Chris Angel.
What about him?
I know
I'll tell you what. He's got way too much hair.
I hear you. I hear you on that one, Baldini. But the thing is, some of those tricks he does, like where he's flying through the air and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is he?
Well, I'll put it in perspective. Well, that's a great statement, sort of question. Because what is magic? What is magic to you?
Magic is defying logic. Mind games, though, mentally.
Okay.
Okay, so to me, that's levitation.
Okay.
That's not magic to me.
Well, first of all, no one has ever been proven to have the ability to levitate. No one has ever.
Not even yogis?
Nope. No one has ever been proven to have actual true mental capability. As a matter of fact, it was Chris Angel during a reality show who offered, and I think the offer still stands, $1 million of his personal money to anyone who can prove to him in a controlled situation that they have telekinetic power. So in effect, what Chris Angel is doing is saying, not even I have it. But what Chris Angel is so good at is the performance side of it. He makes you even forget about, is he really or is he really not? You're just so taken in with his performance. And that is what magic is, the buzz you get.
It's the illusion.
When I have this here, and I apparently put it there, that's an illusion. I kept it. Magic is when your expectation is not met. You saw that go in my hand, and I open it, and your heart goes, to me, that's magic, okay? Illusion.
Did you know when you went, that sound came?
The
that's
horn?
magic.
Well, that magic can happen at any time, you know, it's real magic.
That was kind of weird.
You know, Baldini, I just want to, because, you know, we were talking last night and you were mentioning when you came to magic kind of late, you know.
Very late.
Not that there's any
age.
I started playing bass late.
Well, I'll tell you, people say to me, you must have started, you know, when you were little. And I always have to chime in with this story that I started when I was 34.
Yeah, and you used to be in the corporate world and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What was it about the magic that really turned you on before you had the experience of actually doing it?
Okay, so the first part was I used to be that guy. My hand be on the card, and then you show me another card, turn it over, wave it, and the cards would switch places, and I would be that guy that I encounter all the time. How the hell did you do that? Yeah. That's unbelievable, dude. What the? Wait, do that again. Like, I was that guy. And I kept pushing and pushing, and I finally found out about a magic store in Toronto, and I went in and I bought very simple tricks like this one, okay?
Did you teach yourself, or did you read
about it? It's pretty much all self-taught and befriending other magicians, and now YouTube, you can learn it. So, long story short, you know, I was just, at first, and it was the time of David Blaine when he first came on TV, and it was about the reactions. It wasn't about what he was doing, it was about the reactions. And me, I get a buzz in life, you know, making people smile. Corny.
I know.
And that drives it. And that comes down, if I sing, if I shoot a photo and I hand it over to someone and they're like, wow, you got my soul, man, you got me. Thank you. It's the same buzz for me.
And I could see it because you're, I mean, you're doing it just because. It's like, this is you, right?
I used to make close to $200,000 a year when I was in marketing. I had a car, I went on vacation, I went whenever. Now, I struggle to pay rent, I don't have a car, I take the TTC, for the past 2, and I don't complain about it either. Like that's the price I had to pay to pursue the dream. And when I tell this story to people, people go, "Good on you, man," because I know a lot of people making millions and they're miserable.
So I was going to ask you, are you happier, Baldini?
So happy. I mean, I go through the stresses of not having money, you know, but for me, the trade, you know, because it's ebbs and flows, and the trade-off.
It's not your fault, Baldini.
No,
it's
but
the bankers.
Right. It's easy, because you know what my brother does. You know what my brother does?
I'm sure.
No, what does he do?
Fine person.
He's like a VP of finance at the Royal
Bank. He runs a very large
Yeah,
financial institution in Canada. No names. I'm not giving it out.
Okay, so let me ask you: did you ever borrow money from him?
Oh yeah, I'm into him for plenty of money, but you know he's but that was shut off a long time ago. So no, my family's been very supportive, but there's limits to everything in terms of the financial support, but we all get along. Everybody's happy, and I'm happy, and that makes them happy. And it's not about judging your success, but how thick your wallet is. It's about, are you happy?
So I'm just saying. So you're teaching magic now, and I'm thinking that if people watching this, there's going to be people watching this that are going, that they're really resonating with your story about how you were attracted to magic.
Yes.
And they can. I'm presuming, like, how are you teaching people who are interested?
Well, this morning I woke up and someone said, "Hey, my son wants to take lessons with you from now until camp, maybe twice a week, because he's going up to Camp Timberlane." I think it was Timberlane or Winnebago, one of the two, and he wants to have a really solid trick to do for the magic show, the Camp Wide Magic Show. And again, these moms who follow me on Facebook and stuff, they realize how empowering it is for a kid. Confidence, all that kind of stuff, communication skills, to learn that and think about it. You don't even have to speak the language. You could just, I don't know, go, where's the camera? Let's get a camera. Which camera? That one right there?
Yeah.
Right?
That's here? No, I'll go straight ahead. This one right here. Oh, there it is, right here. Watch this. Watching the camera. See this? In the camera. Watch.
Whoa.
Now, it's down here, and the way the trick done. Again, science. If I don't make the noise, nothing. But if I jerk my head, your brain completes the picture. You can do it on yourself in the mirror, and it will fool your own brain. You'll have to look down and go, "Oh, thank God it didn't go up my nose." But the point of that whole discourse is, I don't even have to speak your language, and I can just go, and boom, and I've made a friend who doesn't speak my language. That's how strong magic is. So to answer, where do I teach? I teach in public schools and lunchtime programs. I'm going to be teaching at summer camps, and I give private lessons. And of course, we're going to have them on in hopefully in the next 3 or 4 weeks. My #1 student, Mindbender, Jordan Murciano, who came to one of my shows at the Ontario Science Center. Actually, he came to 7 of them in a 30-show run. And then his parents basically said, "We want our son to take lessons from you." And here's the interesting thing. He has, I hope I say the politically correct term, but he has a learning disability, okay? But his parents have said that this has completely changed him. His learning disability is weaning away. His confidence is incredible. And he's actually getting to a point where he does some effects stronger than me and things that I can't even do. So, I'm just,
that's a sign of a true teacher too. Somebody who is comfortable and watches their students transcend and bypass them. And say, see ya.
No, Baldini, we're going to give out all your contact info.
But I'm going to do one quick trick before you go.
I want to see that other trick. So we're going to see this trick now, and then we're going to give out Baldini's contact information for people that want to learn.
I have to say, your
magic.
tricks are magical. But, this is really corny, and sappy, but your energy is even more magical.
Thank you, and I love corny and sappy. Actually, there was like a 1-minute clip. Can we play the 1-minute clip? We'll just play the explanation one, the second one. This is when I gave a seminar at the Ontario Science Center. We'll do it real quickly. There it is. This is the explaining the floating cup.
Below you, it's not going to look so impressive. And if you're sitting and someone's above you, it's not going to look so impressive. It'll look pretty obvious. But if you do it on someone who's right in front of you and the trick lasts for literally a second, that will strike an image in that person's mind for the rest of their life. They'll say, "Oh, the kid made the cup float. I swear to God, his hands weren't on it." And that's a pretty cool thing. All right? So, the first move here, I'm not really holding the cup. I don't have to because my thumb's doing all the work. And as a matter of fact, if I hold it tight, it works against me because then my hands will stick to the cup and it'll be hard to move it up because that first move was really, this is exposed, this is what it looks like, it's exposed. That first move was just me raising my thumb up. Watch. And what completes is, thank you. And what completes, I mean, I didn't come up with the idea, but thank you for me executing it. What makes it believable is the front of your hands don't move. Nothing's moving. So you can actually kind of bounce it around a little bit, right? And it looks like it's just dancing in there. And then, this is the part. You like that? How about when he went? That was pretty funny too. I laughed. The second part is this. And when I say he, I mean him. I thought him was the word he there. Here we go. The second part, you don't want your hands out here because you got.
Sure, right?
Okay, so you know that's almost like how when you read and they specifically they're purposely change words. So that will be spelled like TEH, or book will be spelled BKOO or something, and our brain fills it in.
Yeah, shortcuts.
It's
exactly.
the same kind of thing.
It's the exact same thing, and that is the intersection, the core intersection of science and magic. Is we capitalize on this. You know, the brain completing
Assuming
pictures, which
certain
is
things.
Yeah. So like the elastic, and so on and so on. So
Good trick.
Want to do this last one?
Yeah.
All right. You know, cards have names, right? So what I want you to do is think of the name of a card in your mind. Don't say it.
Okay.
Okay, because it won't be an obvious name. Change your mind. Oh, it's so much work, isn't it? To change your mind. Oh, do I have to?
Yes, because now I have to think.
Well, no, but then if you stick with your first one and then we get it right, you'll be like, everybody picks that. And I would have said, then why don't you change your mind?
Okay.
Now, if you want to, change your mind again. Same process.
Can I change it to any other card?
Any other card.
Okay,
Any other card. You got the name in your mind?
Done.
Look at me. I see P. Is there a P in it? A P in the name? No? No?
No.
H. H. No. Wait. No, together. Phil. Phil. That's the name of your card. Why are you looking at me weird? Is Phil not a name? It's short for Philip. Okay. If you're in France, it's Philippe. If you're in Spain, it's Felipe. I'm sorry, my bad. And we can bring in tight right here. I forgot to mention that all my cards had names on them. Can you see that? See, we got Alec, we got Jake, we got Jane, we got Buck, we got Dave, that's my real name. We got Mike, that's my real middle name. We got Dick, that's what people call me sometimes when they're frustrated with my magic. We got Paul Perrier, who was just on. We got Bud. Well, that's another story. And then Greg Fruin, big magician in Niagara Falls. Mona, Lisa. Mona Lisa, Okay, it's not Baldini's singing show. Des, Len, Amy, and so on. You didn't think Phil, right? I got Phil. What was your card that you ended up on? Say it out loud. Anytime now. What card did you end up on? What was your final card?
I named a card.
Name the card. Say it out loud.
9 of diamonds.
9 of diamonds. Look, we go through here. Every single card in here. How we doing? Good. 9 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. Keeping in mind that every card on the back is completely different, except on your card we have Phil. Well, the tech guys liked it. You two just look stupidly stunned.
Okay, I give up. Who's Phil, Sandra?
Phil! Now people will say, how do you do that? And I say, well, go into a magic store and ask to buy the trick deck, Phil! But me telling you that, it does, like Penn and Teller, who are renowned for giving it away as the secrets as part of their performances, are like, look, audiences aren't stupid. They know there's a way.
I'm stupid. I have no idea.
No, but you know there's a way. I don't have power. Like, there's a way, and anyone can learn it. You know, it's that simple. So.
How the heck did you do that?
Magic.
It's magic.
Yeah, but did you get that buzz? Now, before we go. Never mind that. I made Hugh, a year ago, I made Hugh a microphone just like this. Remember, out of balloons?
I remember.
And knowing that you play bass,
yep.
I made you a bass.
Well, that's a new one.
Air guitar! Oh, I made this morning. I tried to rush to make it for you last night.
Really pops.
I'll end with this joke. What do you get when you put a brown chicken together with a brown cow? Brown chicken, brown cow. Smash the guitar, Peter. That's for you, Hugh. Look, I even made it in the That Channel colors.
Awesome. It's
there you go. Slap that bitch. That's the name for a bass.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Baldini, this is awesome. How do people get in touch with you?
David Baldini Grossfield on Facebook. I think I have baldinimagic.ca, but it really just has contact info.
Or
Facebook.
Oh, that's good.
fill her up.
Yeah.
Just look up Baldini, David Grossfield.
Pretty much, yeah.
On Facebook.
Wow.
Yes, yes. And it's a pleasure, and we're getting together on Monday night. Come down to Measure. Say it one more time.
Well,
you can watch Hugh play the bass.
Play the air bass.
That'll be deleted by then. That'll be deleted.
Yeah.
It'll be popping.
Okay.
You didn't even realize you made it funny. All right, get my ass off the stage
Baldini.
here.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Oh,
thank you.
Okay, I got something here. Since Baldini did all this, I got a little.
I still don't know how you did that.
Okay, let's watch this. This is Let's watch number 5 here because Monsanto's gone too far. We're coming to get you, Monsanto.
Can we put magic on Monsanto?
We'll be back with Dennis Chadbourne talking about what's wrong with the healthcare system.
Everything.
Right after this.
This is a call to all anons.
This is a call to all anons.
This is a call to all anons.
Hello, comrades. It is time again for us to bring our help to the world. It is time again to show we are Legion. On May the 25th, activists around the world will unite to march against Monsanto because they are altering the nature of our food supply without a concern about long-term effects on human health, because they are creating a monopoly on the supply of seeds for farmers, and because of increasing evidences of long-term environmental damages. Research studies have shown that Monsanto's genetically modified foods can lead to serious health conditions such as the development of cancer tumors, infertility, birth defects, and other diseases. In the United States, the FDA, the agency tasked with ensuring food safety for the population, is steered by ex-Monsanto executives. World-renowned scientists raising the alarm on GMO food, such as Arpid Pusztai, have been silenced. There is an obvious conflict of interests which explains the lack of public research on the long-term effects of GMO products. Recently, the U.S. Congress quietly passed the Monsanto Protection Act which, among other things, bans courts from halting the sale of Monsanto's genetically modified seeds. For too long, Monsanto has been the benefactor of corporate subsidies and political favoritism. Organic and small independent farmers suffer losses, while Monsanto continues to forge its monopoly over the world's food supply, including exclusive patenting rights over seeds. Farmers trying to save their own seeds have been sued by Monsanto when their fields have been contaminated by Monsanto's patented seeds. Independent farmers cannot survive financially in the face of court battles against a multinational corporation. Monsanto's GMO seeds are harmful to the environment. Scientists have indicated they have contributed to colony collapse among the bee population. The promotion of the use of glyphosate, an herbicide used in conjunction with Roundup Ready crops, has resulted in the apparition of superweeds and the widespread presence of glyphosate in the environment. With little being known about the long-term effects of exposure on human health and on ecosystems, there are many solutions. Voting with your dollar by buying organic, labeling of GMO foods, repealing relevant provisions of the US's Monsanto Protection Act. But today we are asking you to take a first step and help us to inform the public about Monsanto's secrets. Join us in the march to the streets. to show the world and Monsanto that we are aware and want them to be held accountable. We will not stand for cronyism. We will not stand for poison. We are anonymous. United as one. Divided by zero. Expect us.
All right, welcome back. We're hitting the home stretch here on Liquid Lunch, and we've got Dennis Chadbourne joining us.
More magic.
Well, to health magic, because Dennis is a homeopath, right, Dennis?
That's right, yeah.
And we're talking about what's wrong with the healthcare system. And we know there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But we're actually going to make it right.
Well, we're, you know, the healthcare system really is about money. And we're spending a whole lot of money to ensure that we have health care for us when we do get sick.
A lot of people actually call it the sick care system, really.
It's, I don't know about the sick care, but you know, it really is more about, it's going to get very, very expensive, and it is getting expensive. And really, only the people that are going to get the true care, the best of the care, are going to be the people that can pay for it.
Like bankers and government officials.
So when you say it's getting expensive, you're talking about, you know, what we used to get that was covered by OHIP. Now we're having to pay for things. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
OHIP, you know, the governments in Canada are into a process where everything is covered. You know, it doesn't matter if you go coast to coast, you're still covered under OHIP type of medical care.
But that's becoming fewer and far. Like, there are things that used to be covered under OHIP that are, like, even eye exams.
Right.
Right? So,
yeah, but you know what gets me is at one time it made sense to make the healthcare system public, and it was affordable, and healthcare was good. Everybody got free healthcare, but I don't understand why now we can't afford things that we could afford before. Like, why? I don't understand, why is the health system costing us more and more and more and more and giving us less and less and less and less? I don't understand.
Well, because we're demanding more. We're demanding more when we, you know, when we get into a kind of an illness state. We want all the tests done, and we're driving an economy of having better and better tests.
Yeah, which is often with very expensive technology that they need to.
We're almost into the point where we're so dependent on diagnosis, we forgot about what to do when we're diagnosed.
It sounds to me like you're saying this. It sounds like we're taking less and less responsibility because we're looking outside. Like, you fix me.
That's right.
That's what it's sounding like.
That more and more of that's happening, and the more the technology takes over, the more there's a fear factor that sets in. So the more that we go through life, the more we start to plan to be sick,
that's
to get
very
old,
true. Yes.
To you know, as within a year to catch the flu, or you know, whatever. If you're into a cycle of, say, like myself, an asthma, there was a cycle that I expected, and as I got older, and my body was less able to cope with dealing with the asthma, the more symptoms that would come on and the more severity it would come on.
So you're saying because you knew you had asthma, now you had an expectation that, okay, next year my asthma is going to flare up just like it always did in July or August. So it's, you know, it's almost like what we were talking with Baldini. It's like you fill in the blanks with expectations. And that's what he said magic was, is when you have an expectation and it's not met. So it's a similar thing on the health front.
We set up a great system, I think. It's just gone too far. You know, the hospitals are now specializing in specific illnesses instead of being just a general hospital where if you had a problem, you'd go. And they'd diagnose you, give you something for it, and then you'd leave. And or you'd stay overnight or for 3 nights. Now you don't even stay overnight. They send you home, and they give you medication that might or might not work. It's still a good system, but it's coming to the point where there's no solutions. There's no long-term solutions for people to get ill.
Right. One thing I notice, okay, with the hospital care system, and I don't think I think homeopathy or homeopathy is exactly the opposite. Is having experienced elders with health issues, what they do, it's a very band-aid approach. What they do is they fix what's going on, but they don't look at what happens when you get home. Where's the rest of the story? Where's the lifestyle? What is it you're going home to? I'm just fixing my end of the bargain. You're coming in because you have a sore stomach. I'm fixing that. You're on your own once I deal with a sore stomach. And if you get it again, you come back in, too bad. I'm not about trying to work with you in a more, integrative approach.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, and so everybody comes, and that might be one of the reasons why people continue to come back into the hospital, because we're not filling in those gaps.
Well, I know a lot of the health problems are caused by medication that's poorly prescribed, or that multiple doctors prescribing multiple medications to patients without even looking at the drug interactions.
That's right. That's right. It's. There is a lot of complication. There is a lot of freedom in where you can get treated. And if you don't like a treatment that this doctor's doing, go to the next one until you find one. And then there's people with multiple doctors, and the doctors know this, and the system knows it, and really that creates a complication in itself. What I'm, my objective, my company's objective in the third stage of business is to recover people's health so that they can afford it. Make it like a very cheap health insurance over a very short-term period, and allow that individual to become healthy and continue health instead of being caught up in the system like myself, the cycle that I had to go through, the medications, the increase in medications because of just the length of how I had that illness. So my company basically is going to, first of all, create very inexpensive treatments. And what does that mean? That means instead of costing you $2,000 to $3,000 a year, it's going to cost you like $50 a month.
So now we're talking.
So you're really getting into like a $600 insurance policy for your health.
So now when you're saying treatment, you're talking homeopathic treatment.
My treatment, yeah.
Okay.
The Cure Me protocol.
Right.
Because I still haven't found anybody that can take somebody's health and make it better over 3 years. And I want to make it affordable for everybody, because in our economy we can't afford the true cost of what I do.
But let's think about it for a minute. I'm just putting myself in somebody's shoes here. Somebody who's the cost of looking after them when they get sick. First of all, people, if they're not sick now, it's sometimes tough for people to imagine that they're maybe not going to be healthy one day, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Good point.
The other thing is that even in Ontario or in Canada anyway, you get sick, well, yeah, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, but you're not paying it as the patient, right?
That's
like
right.
It's the taxpayer or the government that has to foot the bill, right? So we are, in a way, we're insulated from the cost of our own healthcare in the traditional healthcare systems.
That's right.
How do you get the idea across to people that they should really, pay attention to this, that it's important?
When you talk to an individual about themselves, it's really not a significant issue for them. But if you talk to them about a family, like the fourth stage of what I want to do is I want to take what I do, teach it to one of the people in a family unit to allow them to look after the responsibility of the family. And it's quite easy. And if you can do that multiple times, then you take that that fear factor out of whatever the family has in their cycles. Then you can take that fear out of it.
Well, and you know what? And we are starting to feel the effects. I mean, we were quite sheltered from it, but now, like I said, we are starting to pay costs here and there, $30 here, $50 there.
Mm-hmm.
It's $120 for an eye exam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we are starting now to feel that impact. And to be honest, okay, if you know, and people are having to pay for it, like prostate and all those kinds of things. So if you are, you know, minimizing the symptoms through doing things like this, I'd much rather put my money into something that's homeopathic than going to see, you know, somebody for a prostate exam.
Yeah, particularly if you're talking about prostate, that you find out that it's something like a cancer or some sort of a, you know, nervous system distorted that's interfering with the process of the prostate. You know, whatever it is, you're buying time with your health by doing what I do with my program.
You know, I think a lot it's also making me think there's a lot of I've seen a lot lately of conditions that people are experiencing, and it's difficult for the medical system to put a label on it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff that's just like, it's you know, it's hard to say you've got this, you got that. It's just a general overall, you know, they're just not feeling 100%, right? It's an overall systemic problem that's hard to put a label on.
That's right.
And I think too that when you do go to see these doctors, it's very impersonal.
Yeah.
And they don't really ask you all these probing questions. They ask you questions to see if you fit within a certain formula. That's the feeling that I get.
Right.
Is that it's like, okay, so I'm going to have this theory. I'm going to ask you questions to see if you fit into this theory. I'm not asking you how you live your life.
Right.
Or what stresses you.
Yeah, it's almost like treating it like not on a patient basis. You're not treating the patient as a patient. You're looking at it as a bundle of symptoms, and you treat all those symptoms.
Right, and really, from a society, we've created it ourselves. We've created the environment that the doctors and hospitals have to operate in. But we're also creating an expectation as a society for more.
Right.
Right. So if you can, you know, one of the things that I see is they project $5,000 per year per patient is what our health system is going to cost them. What's happening now is they're cutting back services, so a lot of people are putting together insurance bundles. But it's almost like they're saving. They're saving for the day that they get sick, so they can cover the cost of being sick. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is becoming more of, not so much. It's more about the insurance side of things.
Okay.
And if you know, in the States, they have a little bit of insurance, but most of the people in the U.S. save for getting ill.
Wow. Wow.
That's what's happening in Canada now.
See, that's not
people
a reality.
Are starting to
even.
Save for that type of idea.
Okay, so what you're doing, you're proposing like an insurance, but more of a holistic insurance. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Why not spend you know, $600 a year for 3 years, get your health back? Even if you're not sick, why not find out what could be there? So then basically you're creating a good health for the environment going forward. And if you can, you know, if I treat one person within that family, why not give them a package they can go out and do the same thing with their own family?
Makes a lot of sense.
Now it seems to me though, almost that approach makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, an ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure. But it's almost like but the system as a whole, do you think the system as a whole has to adopt that approach? In other words, the mandarins who are managing healthcare in the province need to kind of sit down and go, we need to kind of work with homeopaths and other more you know, alternative practitioners and think about the wellness, which is going to be cheaper than dealing with curing stuff that might not have happened if people were taking good care of their health to begin with.
Well, a couple of things. The province of Ontario is already putting into play colleges for each homeopaths, for Chinese medicine, for naturopaths. They're putting that into play only to protect, basically they're trying to protect the public from those professions because they're not regulated, all right? So then what happens is, what they're trying to do also is to cut down the cost of what they have to do. So if wellness works 25% of the time, it's going to cut down their expenditures by 25%. But what's really going to happen too is now you're creating business models, private business models for the homeopaths, and they have to work towards clientele in a private sector business model. What that really means is that the individual's not going to be real happy with what services they're getting. They're going to be worried about their health. They're going to go and choose alternatives that are inexpensive, and I want to get ahead of the curve. And I want to initiate that curve. Because if somebody starts to do it and it starts to become a successful model and it starts to change the dynamics of the health field, then the government will change.
I don't know what's going to happen, though. I mean, I think it's kind of scary when you look at the trends on the cost of healthcare as a percentage of the provincial budget, for example. It just seems to be totally out of control.
Well, we saw the actress, I can't remember her name, Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. And how she had to make a decision based on a medical diagnosis and advice of getting, the operations that she got.
She got both breasts removed, and she is cancer-free.
Today.
See, there's a preventative measure that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
She's a pre-viver.
A pre-viver.
But is it a guarantee? No. Is it a percentage of?
Okay, so now here's the interesting thing, Dennis. Okay, I heard on the Global TV that night, okay, that not only is this BCRA1 and 2 gene, that one that they say that makes you, 86% or 60% more prone to breast cancer. Now they're saying, now they've spread that and said, oh, it also means you're highly susceptible for ovarian cancer.
Right.
So now women are actually.
But you're going to find out that same genes can be responsible for all cancers.
Well, why doesn't she get a hysterectomy then?
Or why don't? But what if a year from now they say, wait a second, we made a mistake?
But why not go? Why not kind of cut off the fact that those things might and potentially might show up, because they show up. They show up over time, and there's a lot of symptoms, or there might not be any symptoms until you find out. But why not take the preventative measures of taking out all of the cause and effects that would lead to that activation?
Because people don't want to take responsibility.
Right, until it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's much easier to do that than to take responsibility and say, okay, I'm going to put in measures so that I don't get to that position in the first place.
That's right.
Right? It's like a fix me, fix me, fix me.
Right.
Right? And that's completely the opposite of what homeopathy is all about, because it's about taking responsibility for yourself.
It is to a point of, even homeopathy is changing because of the variables that are changing with it.
Okay.
We have to think beyond, trying to cope with acutes, the acutes meaning the day-to-day things, and look at the longevity and why they're there and how we've always known that, but now that is the model that people will be asking for.
Okay.
I want to make sure percentages like
what she just went through.
What she just went through. If somebody could have told her 20 years ago that she could have come to me and we could have prevented it, and I would have given her, a 90% or a 95% guarantee.
Even now she could have done that, though. She could have done it last week.
Yes.
Well, I think that was maybe a big PR stunt.
But that's a belief system, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. There's a lot of, these stars are handled by many, many people and get a lot of advice. And those are the people that I would love to talk to, but you're not going to get close to them.
Yeah.
The people that are closest to my heart are the ordinary people like you and I.
So what do you tell people like me about what they need to do, because like, you know, say someone, maybe they're not really experiencing any illness, maybe they're feeling pretty healthy, but you know, but here you are telling them, you know, really you need to take responsibility for your own health, and you really
Empower
need to
yourself.
think long term. Like, I mean, you know, what would you tell somebody that's maybe feeling good, but you know, they should be concerned about the long-term health?
If they have a concern, then you know, that's when somebody would be talking to me, and I would be talking to them about what we can do to prevent that concern. Take the fear away, because this is going to happen. We'll take all the symptoms, we'll get the body to respond to them, and get rid of those response mechanisms. That's all. Yeah. The point is that the decision's going to become around money. Oh, that's great, I'd love to do it, but I'm healthy, and I don't want to spend $2,000 a year to do this. Would you spend $50 a month on yourself? Is the other question. It becomes to money.
Okay.
All right, so say they do that, and they come and see you, and for $50 a month, they can kind of expect to, you know, to budget. But what is their experience going to be working with you on a long-term health strategy?
As long as I get 2 years, you know, 2 years of health. Commitment. And basically the 2 years is to get your body system up and running, and it'll show us what else is there. On the third year, it's more about how your body's going to respond to what it's shown us. From there, it's like once a year, and we just have a checkup, and that's like, you know, it's charged once a year. It's not a monthly thing anymore.
So the monthly thing is for 3 years? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. So it's a total investment of $1,800, right? Because 50 times 12. Okay.
Right. And that includes the taxes and the homeopathic medicines and the treatment time.
Gosh, when you think about how much people spend on fads, like the superfoods and even vitamins, a month on vitamins, or all, you know, all of those oils that people, even coconut oil, and you know.
What about coconut oil?
Well, we'll
talk about that after.
Yeah, but you spend a lot. I mean, it can be $10 just for a jar alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, people, again, they're willing to invest in themselves, but that's like some physical substance, right? They're saying, "Oh, this will fix me," right? So it's just the next step. Basically, you're saying it's an investment in yourself.
Right. If you think you need vitamins, as opposed to just eating a healthy meal, then, you know, basically you're telling me two different things. The vitamins are what? To help prevent. Eating is a natural way that we do things every day. But the way we eat can tell you a lot of things about the individual. Why do they need certain things? Why do they react to certain things? It's all part of that, your response mechanisms. That's all.
Okay, Dennis. So if, you know, as you say, this is it's a life-sustaining therapy, right?
That's right.
Okay, so, and as you mentioned before, it's really if you can get someone in a family that's concerned about everyone in the family and can kind of champion that kind of long-term, sustainable health approach, then that seems like a way to go that's going to keep the whole family healthy, right?
And you know where this concept came from is I'm starting to talk to Native groups and communities in Northern Ontario.
Interesting.
Because the fact that they're isolated, then I need somebody to be the homeopath up there that treats people this way, so that they can treat, you know, 1,000 people in the community,
right,
and have the same outcome.
So that's a way for you to share your expertise and get other people to help care for their family members.
Because the whole problem when I was, you know, it's one of my personal goals is to do this, but it was one of the problems I had to figure out. I'm only one person. How do I make this work over a large community?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so Dennis,
a great idea.
Yeah. So if people want to get in touch and find out more, what's the best way for them to do that?
Website cureme.ca, and it'll give you all the contact information.
Okay, and then they can just get in touch and get the process going.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Interesting approach.
Yes.
Nice to see that you're doing something like that with something that's alternative.
Well, you know what? He's taking a leadership position in the alternative homeopathic health.
Well, and doing what you can to make it mainstream so it's not alternative.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's it for the show, I guess, Sandra.
And then we wouldn't have so many sirens in the background.
Well, it's not our fault. Somebody's sick. Somebody's not taking
care of Is that an ambulance?
I think it is, actually. I think it's a paramedics.
So speaking of leadership, we're going to go with this video.
Okay.
And this is a really great demonstration of leadership. Actually, Justin Booth sent this to me.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Justin Trudeau.
Well, you know, I heard some people think he's a fag. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But he's got good hair.
Okay, that's it for the show.
Awesome show.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you later. Here's some leadership. We'll see you next week here on ThatChannel.com.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.